Hello there, and welcome to Dead Reflections Podcast. This is episode 28. We are your hosts.
My name is Kolby.
Caleb.
And I'm your boy Josh, aka Drifter Voyages. Thank you so much for watching and or listening. New episodes drop every Friday, and our goal here is to give someone at the table the chills, and if we're lucky, we might even send those spooks along to you.
Before we get into the show, we have a couple familiar with failure updates. By the time this episode comes out, we will have played August 4th at the Dojo in San Angelo with Brightburn and No Suffer, so we hope that all goes well. October 9th, West Texas Fear Fest at Rolling Sevens Ranch in Odessa, Cosmic Productions and Sound Deep. October 13th, The Ballroom in Austin with Never Rest. October 14th in Harker Heights with Extrixion. Everyone Dies in Utah, Rain, Beyond the Dead, and we are selling tickets for that one, so hit us up. We always have new shows in the works, as well as shows that are announced and subject to change. Be sure to come out and catch the live set, as well as pick up one of our merch items only available at shows. On the topic of merch, what do y'all have on today? Are y'all good?
Oh, yeah, I'm good. Colby's just being a silly goose. So I am repping To Write Love on Our Arms, which is an organization that is dedicated to helping people, suffering from mental health and promoting, suicide awareness and everything like that. I've been repping this company since freaking high school. Matter of fact, I think I got this shirt at Warped Tour, so rip Warped Tour. But yeah, and I'm also repping, No Shame, my own hat, Drifter Voyages hat. Pick it up. Send me some of your money.
Before I get into my shirt,
Okay.
I'm gonna say something that I saw when I switched to his camera. I could have swore I saw something right here,
Why you got?
like move, and then I tried to see if it was my shoulder. It was not my shoulder.
Okay, so it's on. Fuck. All right, cool. What you wearing?
I mean, we have shadows casting. Man, we're not even...
I'm gonna watch that back after this. I'm wearing a Kody West shirt. He's from Denton, Texas, Tex Country. It's not Tex Country artist.
You got a little shake in your voice,
a
partner.
little bit. And then I got the R.I.P. Dale hat on. Yo, I got chills already.
Oh man, it's on me, man.
Like I was white on the white cam, and then I switched to this, and there was something right here, like behind the microphone.
Motherfucker. Oh, it's cold. I just got a cold chill. Like, I got goosebumps, dude.
I got a Ghostbusters shirt from Walmart.
Dude, Walmart, real talk, they be like putting out some fire shirts, dude. Rep
All
Walmart.
right, we're gonna keep on trucking here. Episode 28.
Let's
wow.
go. I'm telling you. So, what? Oh, let's light the ceremonial candle.
Let's do that.
Yeah. So, bye, ghosts.
So, Caleb, you want to tell the listeners what we're talking about today?
So, a while ago, again, anything we draw from Stephen Alexander, our little jar of
About
of
a week ago.
stories,
Sorry. Okay.
It is not in order episode. So if we draw it one episode, it's not going to be necessarily the next one. It could be later on or kind of whenever we get to it, because we have things like guests and stuff like that. So one of the episodes ago, we drew. Oh no, we didn't even draw. We had a viewer suggestion that was from
That's
Bitter
right.
Instinct about stairs in the forest and things of that nature. So she sent the initial thing, which was like a search and rescue forum of a bunch of stories, very long and a lot of information. So we went and found our own stories, possibly written. We don't know exactly yet. And I think it's going to be a fun one. I found a couple stories. I was debating on two, but I decided on one that's going to be a little bit, it's got a big twist at the end.
There's a shit ton of stories out there.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
And-
Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And
a lot of them are very long,
Yeah.
and so we couldn't really.
them search and
cover that.
rescue people can write some stories.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is they probably have stories.
Yeah.
There's so many things going on.
Real talk, with the story that Bitter sent, we've kind of been talking about maybe doing something special. Then that's all I'm going to leave it at.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well,
So keep your ears peeled. We might be having some extra content be sent out. from that.
Josh, do you want to go over what your story's about?
My story is about a
Stairs,
search
obviously.
and stairs search and rescue guy who has about 23 years under his belt. He kind of goes through some of the stuff and essentially, yeah, he finds some stairs and some shit happens.
I like that most of us are gamers too, because they're going to understand if we slip up and say search and destroy at least once.
Yeah, dude, I was fighting
every
that
time,
shit.
Every time I think about it, don't say search and destroy. Search and rescue.
Search and
Caleb,
rescue.
what's your story?
So-
Did you choose a story?
I did choose a story. It's hard to get into it. Basically, we have a character that takes the stairs, which is a no-no, and gets caught in some kind of loop, and there's a big twist at the end.
Oh.
So that's kind of what we're...
What's
I'll
the
leave it at.
title of yours?
I climbed up the stairs in the woods. I can't get back down.
Okay, mine is titled Staircase Wall Covered in Blood.
Okay, good. I was worried for a second that same one.
Oh my god, that would be so bad. We haven't had that happen yet.
No,
Knock on
especially with this
wood.
this amount of stuff to be able to be found.
Yeah.
I would be surprised.
Yeah.
Okay, Kolby.
So mine is titled "The Moon Stairs."
Huh.
And-
oh, I like that.
It's about a person and their garden. They have a staircase in their garden, so it's a little different from y'all's. Not in the woods or out in the wilderness, but it's in their actual home garden, and little sleepwalking action.
Oh, shit.
But yeah, I'll leave it at that. But what's I think is more interesting is how I found the story. I was just doing research, looking at stories, and I came across a top 10 list on YouTube of because that's how many fucking stories about stairs there are.
They gotta have a top 10.
Yeah, and I took nothing from the video. I went to the comments, and there was a person who commented, Neil Armstrong, moon landing, Apollo 11, Apollo 11, stairs on the moon. And I'm like, what? So I tried like Googling this.
Yeah.
Of course, couldn't find shit about it. And
Y'all heard that?
Yeah.
Yeah, something moved. Something
Yeah,
shifted.
I saw it out of the corner of my eye, and then you looked at it, and I was like, "Oh fuck!" Now I have to acknowledge it.
all right,
Dude,
cool.
it's
This
good
is-
for
this is gonna-
so long.
This
It's
is
so-
going to be a
we do
terrible
fine for
podcast
so
to
long.
listen to.
It's like it's nothing for so long, and as soon as we start,
Yeah,
this is awful.
cool. Is there a full moon tonight?
I don't know.
I know, yeah, it was crescent moon last night. But anyway, while searching for that, I came across the moon stairs, and it has some things to do with the moon.
That's cool. That's cool.
But yeah,
Oh man, I'm
one
telling you, I
more,
think our guest last episode brought
he
some
brought
shit.
something? You
and-
think Marcus brought
dude, this
something?
is like intense.
We'll have
like,
to let
it's
him
like
know.
heavy in here. It's weird.
So one last housekeeping thing is that there is Bitter Instinct, who we've
it-
mentioned before.
I'm sorry, but is it hot in here now?
No,
Is it
well,
warm?
Yeah,
I'm okay.
It's hot
I'm
now.
doing
Because
okay
it was
right now.
cold earlier.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we had the AC going.
Oh,
No,
that's
but
true.
like after we turned that off, it felt like a cold spot.
Yeah.
I'm good right now. You're also in the spot where the ghost is at. Anyways,
Thanks.
Bitter Instinct, one of our good friends and streamers, has a tournament coming up for Rainbow Six Siege. So if you play Rainbow on PC, join it. Enlist in the little Discord thing, and you can find a team. If you don't have one, there's a whole channel and everything set you up. You can get everything. The reason we're telling you this is because we all belong to a band called Familiar with Failure,
Yeah.
and there's going to be merch that we're donating to the tournament in the prize pool.
The winning squad.
The winning squad, so it's usually 5 people. I would imagine it's the same. Each one is going to get a choice of shirt, and then we're going to give away a signed CD and then a signed drum head to like the MVP of the game.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Actually, we got the drum head
Yeah.
right here. And
Check
it's,
it out.
It's not
got
signed
our,
yet.
It's got our blood on it.
It's got mostly Caleb's blood from.
Mostly black.
So if you
But
want
yeah.
a little piece of us to go on your wall,
But yeah, Bitter Instinct, follow her, and you can get all the information from her as well.
for sure, for sure. Yeah, we'll definitely have a link to her like Twitch or maybe the Discord or whatever, like so that you can get in touch with her. But yeah, Siege is a pretty cool game. I'm terrible
You
at
can
it.
link up with me. I plan on playing.
Oh, so you do? Okay, cool. I have to work, so I can't.
No.
It's whatever.
Tragic. Y'all ready to
Okay,
get
now I'm
into
ready for
to some spooks?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yes.
It's time now for the moon stairs. In my garden, there was a set of stairs. Ever since moving in, I always been puzzled by them. They didn't serve any purpose, not allowing easy access between different levels of the garden like stairs found in your typical park or manor grounds. Just a freestanding staircase of some 11 or 12 stone steps leading up into nowhere. My wife had encouraged me to have them removed. After all, what made them worth keeping? I refused, though, as they had, by the looks of them, been there for centuries, and I felt their antiquated nature made them a novel feature of our backyard. Besides, I quite liked the look of the structure. They were, despite their obvious age, quite plain and bore little in the way of reliefs or carvings. Indeed, no semblance of any distinguished craftsmanship beyond the most functional and mundane. That is, aside from 2 faint images carved into the face of the bottom step. Something which looked like a full moon and a vague reproduction of the yellow sign. So I didn't know what the yellow sign was either.
Yeah, I was about to say, what is that?
The yellow sign is a fictional symbol or glyph first described in Robert W. Chambers' book, The King in Yellow. Its nature is unknown, but it seems to possess a strange siren call to the dark world of the King in Yellow and Carcosa, such that those who are exposed to it are doomed.
That gives me chills because I literally was looking up stuff about the King in Yellow for
Really?
like a story a while back, and like I like went on a rabbit hole dive down into
It
that
gives
shit.
me more chills because our producer, Dylan, just talked about a person doing a feature for one of their Living Hollow tracks,
Yeah.
and the person is from the band Carcosa.
Yeah, that's where I got the original idea to do it because I was like,
And
okay,
I had
what
never
is this
heard
about?
that. I had never heard that until this week, and then I find this story. Still, despite the apparent lack of artistry, for me, they still held some association to the most evocative of artworks, contemporary or antique. A staircase leading to nothing. That image in itself bore connotations to ambition never crowned with success or the struggle of understanding deeper secrets never being attained, and indeed carried with it some introspective probings regarding my elusive awards for poring over the books I would study in the small hours, those ancient tomes of frightful yet irresistible lore that I would read over and over yet fail to comprehend at any significant level. To aid to this, I would at times dream of these stairs. Dreams in which I would find myself walking in the garden and start climbing them, always apprehensive about the undertaking, but filled with a sense of obligation to make the climb. If I were not to walk up these stairs, then what? I don't know, but I was always spurred on by personal ambition, and I would keep climbing the stairs, and with every step taken, I had not made any advance toward the summit. Ridiculous, really, as I knew the stairs were comprised of a dozen steps and nothing more, although while climbing I would sometimes feel I was descending rather than ascending, or at best maintaining my position relative to the stairs. I would, however, mostly drift into other, more pleasant dreams and ultimately wake up. Even if not refreshed from a full night's sleep, I'd still be fit to go about my daily business, aided no end to by hearty breakfast and leisurely pace at my workplace. Owing to these comforts, some time passed before I noticed the dreams of the stairs steadily became more frequent. In these dreams, I would always find myself climbing, yet failing to make any real progress as usual. The stairs would seem endless, and the effort expended would be futile, like always. Futile, that is, until that one night when the moon was full in the sky and appeared to be disproportionately large. I had been napping on a chair in the back veranda, a nap extending well into the night owing to my quickly escalating sleeping problems. I can't tell if I was asleep or awake, or indeed in some state in between, when the urge to climb the stairs once again overcame me. I ventured down into the garden and approached the familiar stone structure, set my foot down on the first step. This time I realized that this was more tangible than a dream. This was a more tangible dream than in my own usual nap quest, as I had named them. In my dreams, the stairs had always been hazy, fleeting like a theatrical backdrop with, despite being key to the proceedings, remained a prop, not a focus of attention. I could feel the sudden damp chill that the stone will impart at night. The stairs were very steep, so I would use my hands to gain purchase on the edifice every bit as much as my feet. During my ascent, for despite the added sense of tangibility, the stairs would appear as dauntingly endless as in every former dream. I did become more and more aware of the image of the moon. It would grow perceptibly with every dozen steps or so. After what felt like hours of climbing, its yellowish face seemed to fill my vision, and I had to avert my gaze lest it would blind me with its brilliance. I had to keep going though, peering straight ahead rather than upwards. The glow soon became overpowering, seeming to permeate my eyes from every direction. With eyes closed, I would still crawl ever forward and upward, making my way by touch alone. For how long I was gone, I do not know. I was found cowering at the base of the stairs the morning after. I was not much of a man to begin with, much less so, quite literally, after my tenebrous outing. After months in the hospital, and only years later, would I speak any words beyond that which perhaps is the most benignly worded of passages from the Liber Lunarium. Be wary of the moon beasts, for they are less than friendly towards travelers.
Wait. So he was sleepwalking.
Yeah.
But when he realized that when he basically woke up at the bottom of the stairs, he was having that was the last time that he experienced it.
So either he sleptwalked every time and just made his way back to his bed, and then the final time he didn't, or he was actually dreaming of them, and then it actually physically got him up to go outside.
It was like they were training.
He said he was in a state of he couldn't tell if he was awake or not.
Yeah.
And so,
dude, it's maybe they were okay, this is how you do it.
Right.
And then they were all right, you're ready. And then oh, I don't like that.
Very weird, yeah.
Yeah, that's fucking weird.
I think that last line we should use for something because that's.
Well, dude, what is it called?
Be wary
Moon
of
stairs?
the moon beast.
Moon stairs? I like that name for some reason.
Yeah.
Just be wary of the moon beast.
We're
It's
your typical
terrifying
metalcore
to me.
band. It's either water or a planet or something. Dude, that was a good story.
It was.
Where'd you get it from?
So that one was from a Reddit post.
Dude, Reddit never fucking fails. Dude.
Mine is from there as well.
Oh shit.
I'm not sure where I got it from, but it will be in the show notes.
It will be in the show notes.
My favorite thing about doing this is the stories that we have the full length ones that are written to scare you.
Yeah.
And then we have things that just led Kolby to that story. The thing of Neil Armstrong seeing staircase on the moon is gonna stick with me forever.
Yeah, that's insane.
It's very creepy.
That's
That's just gonna sit with me forever, and it's not. We didn't even talk about it.
You're sitting there
it was
Just
just
why it's just a little thing to ponder.
It's funny because it's a tidbit, and there are probably going to be people who listen. They're like, "Wait,
yeah.
exactly.
what? He said there's staircases on the moon? What?
I've heard, I've seen stories of them saying that they saw saucers on the edge of craters, and that they just they were too scared to basically acknowledge that they were there.
Yeah. I've heard stories too.
Because NASA was keeping it all this is this is important for the whole nation and the whole world. So we got to keep it as normal as possible.
Yeah. Have you you ever seen...
if some whack shit was going on fucking miles across?
Well, have you seen, what was that, Transformers, where he all right, we're going dark, and then they because apparently there was a certain time where the signal of them videoing them on the moon cut out, and the whole point of that on Transformers or whatever movie it was they were actually going to see shit that they knew that was there. And it's there was I think it's on Reddit where they talk about, it's well, what if that was really how is, because this is going into conspiracies, but a lot of conspiracy theories, but a lot of people think that media, they use movies and stuff to kind of allow us to experience it and be okay with it. So whenever it they come out and they're like,
Right.
by the way, that dark part was actually us going and looking at a fucking alien structure that we knew that was on there.
That's how it was with the UFO tape release.
Yeah.
Like we know fucking shit's been seen in the sky.
Yeah.
We know about Roswell. We know about all this shit, and then they come out with actual evidence of some weird shit moving at fucking way faster than any plane can go.
They dilute it.
And then everyone's just like, oh yeah, aliens.
Yeah, because we're like, oh, we've seen fucking what was that one movie with Mel Gibson? Signs. We've seen Signs. Like, it's all good. Like, it's chill. All right. Well, that was a good story, man. I guess we'll.
I wonder if there's more to the reason why, like, the whole reason that we don't go to the moon anymore is just like there's no reason to. But like, what if there's more to that?
Yeah, it's because they're probably still going and we just don't know.
Or just like
we struck a deal with the aliens to be like, no more.
They're like, hey, this is our planet.
There's some terrifying shit that we can't explain up there.
Yeah,
and so they're scared to go back.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Like, they're like, oh, fuck that. Like, we stepped into a territory we probably shouldn't have stepped into. Yeah, I get that. All right. Well, so, dude, that was a good ass story.
That one's what's that? Where it sticks with you, linger effect story.
Yeah, now I'm gonna be thinking about that on the way home, looking at the moon, like, what's up there, bro? Especially the staircase part. You were right. Like, I'm still thinking about it. That's funny.
It's just a weird thing that's gonna stick forever.
And it's interesting that you brought up the staircase thing because my story talks about how they think that the staircases move.
Yeah, every story I've seen, they've moved.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, little backstory on mine. It's about a search and rescue guy. It's kind of like him going through the years, 23 years experience, and he just kind of talks about a couple of incidences of running into the staircases. And my story is called Staircase Wall Covered in Blood. Being a search and rescue for about 23 years now, I have a lot of things I have experienced that are just unexplainable. From weird disappearances, sightings of strange animals, lights flying through the trees, you name it, and I have either heard stories or experienced it myself. One of the more strange ones is the stairs. Imagine a set of stairs just planted in the middle of the forest, no rhyme or reason why. Multiple different types ranging from iron spiral staircases to even some with nice carpet on each step. Clean, nice carpet on each step. No other structure nearby or documentation that a building was constructed in that location. Hell, sometimes they look brand spanking new. It's almost like someone copied and pasted them there by accident. Like they're a glitch in the matrix or something of that nature. The staircases are common for us, oddly enough. I've seen more than my fair share throughout the years. When I first started working as a search and rescue, I remember the first time I came across a set of stairs. Thought it was odd. We were doing a search for a missing kid. She had apparently wandered off from her parents about 15 miles into the forest. The distraught parents said that they heard their little girl say, "Hi," and next thing they knew, she was out of sight. The stairs I came across that day were only 3/4 of a mile from her last known location. I remember being so confused that a little taken back from them. I walked up to the staircases and started to survey them when I felt this strange feeling, like I shouldn't have laid my eyes on them. Almost like when you're a kid and you get the feeling that whatever you're doing will get you into trouble. I decided to turn back and rejoin my search party after some looking around. I let them know about the stairs and they didn't care. We found the little girl about an hour later, actually quite close to where I saw that staircase. After getting back to base, I asked my boss about the staircase. He wasn't even fazed by my findings either. All he said was,
"Stay away from them and never touch or ascend them."
Hell, he didn't even look at me as he said this. He just kept working on his paperwork. What a strange response and way to act about that, I thought. After a few weeks, another rookie stumbled upon some stairs while doing a search. She was a lot braver than me, I guess. She decided to climb them, stating she thought that getting high ground would help her find the lost hiker they were searching for a lot easier. Makes sense. She told us that once she got to the top, she noticed that she couldn't hear anything. The sounds of the forest were gone. Hell, she couldn't even hear herself breathing. Then after a few minutes, she described feeling this overwhelming sense of dread and a little dizzy. Right before she started to descend the stairs, she took one last look out into the forest. She swears she saw a black figure of a man peeking from behind a tree right at her. She thought that was her lost hiker, so she ran down the stairs and in that direction. There wasn't anyone there. As she was finishing up her story, the boss interrupted her.
You went up those stairs?
He asked in an angry tone.
I told you to never go near them. See me in my office right now.
After some time, the rookie came out in tears. She was fired that day. After a while, I just accepted the stairs as normal, just like everyone else. Every so often, we would run into one and just go about our search. I did notice that they move, or at least it appears they do. You see them in one area, and if you ever go back through that same spot, they won't be there. It's like either they can get up and walk away, or choose when you can see them. The last time I had any kind of run-in with the staircase was last year. We got a call for another missing person. Well, missing people, I should say. They were experienced hikers who have camped our forest for years. Hell, I know one of them by name. They were a solid 30 miles into the forest. We got their last known whereabouts and decided to start from there, splitting up to cover more ground. First hour or so, I didn't see anything. Then, I found them. Well, what was left of them. I ran it about a small clearing, and boom, there was a staircase leading to nothing. It was made of metal and concrete, and was actually pretty tall. A lot taller than the normal ones we run into. I hardly acknowledged it at first, really. Like I said, they have become a normal thing to see as the years pile up. As I was walking past it, though, the amount of blood I saw that day, it still haunts me every so often. As I rounded the other side of the stairs, I saw pieces of the lost campers. Blood was going up the side of the staircase wall. I saw body parts thrown about the area. A torso was hanging from a tree next to the staircase, wrapped up in strings used for the tent. It was awful. I radioed in and had everyone come up to my location. The authorities were called to rule out homicide. My buddy, who is a sheriff, let me know that they labeled it a bear attack. I have seen bear attacks. Never have I seen a bear string up its kill in a tree. The whole situation felt strange and like a cover-up. Very rushed, very swept under the rug. The officials know something and they won't tell us. I dare not ask anyone about it. I dare not ask any more about it to my fellow search and rescue team. We are all afraid of getting fired over the whole staircase situation anyways. Hell, I could lose my job for sharing this on the internet, I bet. What I want you to take from my story is this. If you ever stumble upon these staircases, just turn around and go the other way. Go as far away from them as you can. There is something weird going on in the National Forest of the United States. Something weird and even possibly deadly. That's my story.
Very good.
Thank you.
So, I didn't know if I wanted to bring it up after my story, or I think here's a good spot because yours pulled from so many, like all the, they all have relation.
Yeah.
That's the creepiest thing to me.
What
is
do you
that
mean? Oh, all the stories?
all
like,
the stories that
different
have like
Yeah.
similar things
Yeah.
happening in them.
The not being able to hear.
The stairs, like the actual what they look like and everything.
Yeah.
It's like it's always the same. It's always like very clean. It's always brand new. It's carpeted. It's or it's
so
marble.
I never heard carpeted stairs
Yeah.
before until yesterday, and then I was like, whoa, that's weird. And I came across it was that same video that I was watching, and it was a synopsis of another story, and the dude sat down at the bottom of the steps and like felt the soft carpet, and like he was just like in like a euphoria.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's
Hypnotized.
weird. Like he's
And
like
he-
like rubbing on it.
So I
Like
came across a story similar where this guy who was SNR saw the staircase, and it was beautiful. It was gleaming. It was marble, and you
Right.
could see like white light around it and everything. And then he was like, okay, something's wrong. I'm going to leave. He comes back to his house, tells his roommate about it. They go back and check it, and he still sees this beautiful staircase.
Oh
and
shit!
And they're seeing
other
like
dude
this
doesn't.
dilapidated, it's like crumbling and
What the fuck?
yeah. So but he the dude that's seeing like the beautiful one is getting drawn to it. He's like he's hearing his mother's voice who's passed away. And
That's
he's like he needs to get close to
Oh
it.
shit, that's
So-
weird. So it was telling him to come up the stairs.
So I noticed something that you said in your story, or you didn't say in your story.
Dude, there's a lot of good ones. There's a lot of good stories.
Why? Okay, so you said I asked my boss about these, and
Yeah.
he told us don't ever go near them.
Yeah.
Yada yada. Why does no one ask why?
It's a common thing though. Is
Yeah.
a cover up. Like almost
straight
every
up-
story where they're like they bring it up is like
Yeah, like I've read
Just ignore it.
I've read other stories, and they like half of the people don't even get to talk. Like they bring up staircase, and they're like, nope, no,
yeah.
That's
don't even want to talk about it. Like, don't talk about it. Don't touch them. Don't ascend them. Whatever you do, like they all
but
say
like
that.
then that just implies that there's a reason
Yeah,
that this is bad,
yeah,
and so, but no one ever is like investigating into like why their boss
So-
said like don't talk about it.
yeah.
I
Like-
see it as cover up, like they know something's going on, they just
Yeah.
don't want to get shut down or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that because I've been playing The Witcher again, there's a whole side quest where you go to this village and they have a deal with this creature that's in the woods protecting them. But if you venture into those woods that it hunts, then you get killed.
Yeah, it's a Wendigo, right?
It's like a Wendigo.
Yeah.
I forget what they call it exactly, but they struck a deal with it. They said if you sacrifice at least once every now and then,
Yeah.
we won't like. Take
I
on the
remember
whole
that
village.
mission. That was a good
So
mission.
it's the same kind of thing. It's like whatever the staircase is some kind of draw. It's drawing you. It wants to feed or whatever. So you made a deal with it to not like we won't out you and talk about it if
Yeah.
you just like chill.
Yeah,
You
just
know?
chill.
Like you get like one a month or something like that.
Also, I remember you said that the female rookie was like thinking like why are these stairs here? Like maybe to look for
Yeah.
search for someone. I also saw that in the comments someone said that the stairs are there to look for fires, like
Oh.
kind of like before they built like watchtowers and stuff.
That's in it.
And
But
so
one,
that's a theory as to why they're everywhere.
that's a good theory though. Like fire watchers, that's a thing.
Yeah.
Like
If you want to put some like actual hard
Yeah.
context to
Yeah,
it,
see
that's
that's where I immediately go. I was like, all right, why
would these be everywhere?
Yeah, what's the legitimate reason why these?
because
are
they do. They
everywhere?
usually go about as tall as a tree line, so you can see like at least
Right.
what I've seen.
Yeah.
One thing though that to bring up with how you're or bring up what you were saying about asking why. Every story like they always talk about that I read was they talked about how you could never get a picture of one. You could like people
Right.
would walk by and be like, "That's weird," and then like in my story, like he talks about they either get up and walk away or they only allow you to see it every once in a while. And no, but there's barely any picture documentation of this shit.
Ain't nobody got a phone on them,
Right.
God. Like
know,
even
it's weird.
even like a shitty Nokia, like you could get a picture of
I
it.
never thought about it. It's like it's almost like it like helps it like kind of distracts you enough to make you not think like to make you not
Right,
want to like
yeah.
take the picture.
Yeah.
But people will go back and they'll go like, yeah, I saw it over here. And it's like, I get being turned around in the woods, but a search and rescue, they know those woods like they know their own house.
Yeah.
You know, so like for them to like backtrack back, knowing that they went back this way and then it's not there, like that's so weird to me. It's
Yeah.
like, where did it go? Did it, you know?
There you go.
Or like I'd be interested to see if there's a story out there that person like pings like his GPS location or
Like,
something.
right away,
Yeah,
like,
right away.
yeah.
And then they come back to the exact spot and it's fucking gone.
There's like a thing in the grass showing that it was there, but it's not there. Fuck
I'm still not
you.
100% recovered from what I saw.
Me neither. Because I keep seeing like I feel like I'm being watched. When you were telling your story, like I kept looking over here because I was like, there's something over there, and I don't, and I'm acknowledging it, and then I'm like, don't acknowledge it, and then I listen to your story, and then I'm like, no, motherfucker, it's like over there somewhere. I don't know. That's weird. I don't like it.
Okay, I debated on bringing it up.
Oh, you felt the same thing?
At the end of your
You brought
story.
something in?
No.
Oh.
I didn't know if it was like a little panic attack coming up, but I got real scared. Like,
You
like,
just were
like
sitting
fight
there.
or flight scared. Like I was like, it was making me nervous, and I thought it was just it's
man.
passed since.
Like
then.
right now?
No, or at the end of
Oh,
your
at the
story
end
when
of
we
my
were
story.
when we were transitioning to his.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was weird. I
so
was gonna.
weird.
That's cool.
I just feel bad for you because you live here, so it's
Yeah.
like you can't like go home and go away.
But that's
like,
the thing, though, is I've got, and maybe this is where Marcus comes back into play, is like you get used to it.
Yeah.
Whenever y'all aren't here, it's fine. Like everything feels fine.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I don't know. So now I got a story to read, man.
All right. Yeah.
So-
tell us your story.
This one, another Reddit post. This one's on No Sleep and user Dretchenall. So Dretchenall, youtube.com/Dretchenall is the one he wanted us to shout out. So
Okay,
thank you for
cool.
letting us use your story.
Oh yeah, thank
And,
you so much.
It's a pretty neat one. It's titled, I Climb Up the Stairs in the Woods. I Can't Get Back Down.
I hate the title. It's a creepy ass title.
I joined as a park ranger 5 months before the events of this story. I would encounter stairs occasionally, but it was random and they'd appear. Then they'd appear, excuse me. Once, I went a month without seeing them, then I'd run into them 3 days consecutively. Okay, hold on. I think I'm getting ahead of myself here. Most of you probably don't even know what I'm talking about. By this point, y'all do. Since I'm ending. In the national park where I work, occasionally, the wilderness, you'll find staircases which seem to sprout out of nowhere. And just staircases, out in the open. They don't seem to lead anywhere, and then they go away just as quickly as they come. Now, I'm pretty sure this would be a bigger news story than it is, but as it is, the higher-ups want to keep a wrap on it. I don't know if perhaps they know more than I do about them, but whatever it is, the other rangers didn't care too much for them either. Whenever I would ask about them, most of them would just straight up ignore me and start talking about the weather or something. Some of them would glare at me as if I had committed an unforgivable sin and told me to never mention them again. A few of them would shrug and get on with whatever it was that they were doing. I did find someone, though, I'll call him Mark, who was a bit more open to talking about them. Listen, you're new here, most people just get the hint that you're not supposed to talk about them, but yeah, they sort of just pop up. He paused and looked at me quizzically. Have you ever come across one that's upside down? I shook my head, no. I've seen one of them like that, and some of the others have too. I have no clue what it means. Only thing that you need to know is that you are to never, ever go on them. Do that, and the least you can do that, and the least you'll be getting is fired. He then trailed off, not detailing the things that would happen that could be worse than that. And for a time, I was just sort of accepting of that. We weren't supposed to be going on the stairs, simple enough. I began to ignore it like the others. It was easy enough to ignore for them, for the most part. Aside from them looking really weird and out of place, they weren't really doing any harm, right? That was until one day, we got an alert that a kid had disappeared somewhere in the woods. I was sent out as part of the search party and began combing the area where the kid was last seen, and then I saw it. Set of stairs, lined with yellow carpet. Another one of the rangers, I'll call her Stacy, found me staring at it. Stacy was part of the crowd which would ignore the stairs as much as possible, but her face became pale the moment she saw them. She looked at me, shook her head. We'll keep searching, but we'll need to get ready for the bad news we have to tell the folks. She left, and I quickly pieced together that whatever she thought had happened, the kid must have gone up the stairs, and then, well, whatever happened, meaning they'd already written off the kid as dead, just from seeing the stairs. Me, though, I wasn't one to give up that easily, unfortunately, and I was near here and somehow felt that I could pull something off that was amazing. What an idiot I was. I won't lie, though, I did feel odd while going up the stairs. I spent a good minute just staring at them initially, unsure if I should go up or not. In the end, I figured that if I didn't make a move, someone would find me, and I didn't want to be caught doing it. I counted the steps on my hands as I went up them, 13 in total. Weird, an odd number. As I put my foot on the topmost step, my body shook. You ever have that false falling sensation when you're falling asleep? When you're trying to fall asleep, but your body just tries to check and see if everything's a-okay, something like that, I believe.
All the goddamn time.
That's when I felt as if my foot had descended to meet the topmost step. The ground beneath me gave way, but immediately popped back into existence, like you missed a step, but then found something else. And when that was done, I was no longer at the top of the staircase. I was at the bottom again. I was no longer in the woods. I was in someone's house. And the stairs, still completely out of place, they led right up to a wall. I looked around. The carpet didn't even match that of the stairs that I had seen. It was a crimson red color now. I was in a hallway and I could hear voices coming from a room. I know it sounds stupid, but the first thing that came to mind was the shoes I had been wearing. Shoes that had been outside in the woods, dirty. If it was my mom, she would be screaming bloody murder at me. What would the owner or owners think of this? I crept up towards the door, dreading what was coming up. As it was, I couldn't exactly go back down to the woods. Maybe I could keep going up, or I'm not sure that would lead back home somewhere else. I don't know. Even though it was a weird situation, I was still more confident with staying here, because at the very least, this place was safe. And as they say, better the devil you know. I went into the room, preparing an apologetic face. The room looked fairly normal at first glance. There were 4 people sitting at a table, 2 adults, 2 children who looked like they were eating dinner based on how dark it was outside at the time. There was a television on, and there was a program on, some kind of news, before they turned their heads. And that's when I saw what was off about them. Their heads. Each of them had their heads on backwards. Even the newscaster on television, his head on backwards, and was looking out of his chair turned around. Otherwise, they were just like you and I, and really thinking about it almost seems kind of comical. Though it didn't seem funny at the time, the 4 of them whipped their backwards heads around at me, screamed, and one of them lunged for a knife. I didn't want to stick around any longer and wound up back up the stairs. Instinctively, I thought if I went up them, I would then again travel somewhere else. It was that or go outside the door, but I had a strange feeling that when I went out into the world, given what I saw from the news broadcast, I would find a world filled with people with backwards heads on. As my feet touched the top of the stairs, I once again felt the weird falling sensation and found myself back in the woods. I sighed in relief now. Granted, I hadn't found the kid I was looking for, but I was safe from whatever those creatures were. However, there was something definitely off here. I realized quickly enough when I glanced up. There was nothing off initially until I saw something accompanying the sun overhead. It was another sun, which had descended towards the horizon. 2 suns in the sky. I definitely wasn't back in Kansas.
Hey, you're in Tatooine, my dude.
Taking a deep breath, I went back up the stairs again, and again, and again. I saw many things, worlds which were a lot like our own, but subtly different. People having the wrong number of appendages, people had 1 eye or 3. Sometimes I would even end up at different parts of time. I saw dinosaurs roam across the plain, and I got my common sense together and left pronto. I have my own theory on what these stairs are now. They're gateways between different universes. I can only think that the fabled inverted ones that Mark had once mentioned somehow lead back, but I haven't been able to find one. I've been going up the same set of stairs, hoping to end up back home. Granted, I finally got a break. Something of a break. I found him, the kid that we were looking for. Little Squirt started screaming the moment I approached him. Understandable, I guess, but I managed to introduce myself and he would calm down. We ended up in someone's house after traveling the stairs again. Thankfully, though, the homeowner isn't here. The only thing I could think to do at that point was call for help, but my phone wasn't getting any signal. And so I went on hoping for some of you who could help us get back home. I've been scouring the internet, and it does seem like we managed to get back in something of our loop. I can see that the national park exists where we are. I saw a bunch of familiar sights and news items, and, well, I mean, for the most part, it's good to be back home. Overall, we're doing fine for now, though we're kind of hungry, and, well, there is one more odd thing that I tend to think about. It's this keyboard I'm typing on. I don't know why, but it just isn't made for someone like me. I think the owner of this house had some sort of accident, lost a finger on both of their hands or something. They must have had this keyboard custom made, built for themselves later. Because how is anyone with a full set of 7 fingers supposed to type on this thing? Anyways, do please send help.
Wait, 7 fingers? Wait,
Yeah. Okay.
So he's from a whole
Yeah.
nother like.
Character is not human,
Yeah.
my dude.
How the fuck? You were saying you had 2 stories. How was that other story supposed to stand up to that? That was an insane story.
So I was worried that would fly over y'all's head because I read it for the first time and I was like, 7. Why is it?
Seven. Why is it? Dude, that wow, that was a man.
And when I messaged the guy, I confirmed it. I was like, so just to make sure, because this isn't a super popular one. So hopefully after this, it'll get a
Oh,
little bit
hell
more
yeah.
traction and go upvoted and
That
stuff.
was a fantastic story.
Very well written, yeah. I asked him basically, like, just to make sure I'm not getting it messed up whenever I read it. This is a character from another universe that somehow ended up in ours.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was like, yes. Okay, so that's
Dude,
There's a big ass keyboard.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, that's
that's wow.
He did
That's
the
gonna
whole
stick with me,
and
dude. That's gonna stick with me.
writing stuff always makes me appreciate like how other people write because
Yeah.
he did the whole Chekhov's gun thing.
That explains my first note that I took, which was yellow carpet. Who the fuck puts yellow carpet on stairs?
70s.
Who the fuck
bro.
has yellow carpet in general?
Oh, just alternate universe people.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I don't know if y'all caught that early on. It was 13 stairs that he could count on
Yeah.
one hand, or
Oh,
on
shit.
his hands. Yeah.
Oh, damn.
So 7 and 7, he had
How
14.
is that story not popular, guys? We need to go and give a
I thought
thumbs up.
I
to-
thought 13 was just like 13 because of
Exactly.
the,
Yeah. That's how well it was.
That's
written. Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, those are the things I love.
Unluckiness
You
of
can,
the
you can
number.
go back and like pick apart little things. It's very
Man, that was cool.
cool. And
I also wrote down better the devil.
yeah, that's the exact word that he wrote. I
I
haven't
mean,
heard that.
he is from a fucking alternate dimension, so
Yeah, they
Maybe
got
the devil
different
is
sayings.
God or something.
They got different sayings in different universes. It's Drechenal. So, and he also has a YouTube channel he wanted to shout out. So youtube.com/Drechenal.
Definitely,
And it's DRECHENAUX. It's going to be linked anyways.
Okay, yeah, we'll link it and definitely go
God,
give him a follow.
I want to know more about this dude now.
Yeah, like can he like draw a picture for us? You know, like I want to know what he looks like.
What his face looks like. How tall is he?
Oh, about the character.
Yeah.
Okay.
So before the story
Because like
started,
obviously it's human-like.
Yeah.
'Cause,
well, that we know
he said,
of.
Yeah.
He said better the devil. So there's
Yeah, there's
some
a
form
God
of
complex,
Christianity
yeah.
in his universe.
Now you want to like pick his brain, like what is it?
And that's the other thing that also stuck with me is that these two timelines are parallel. Like you have the National Park Service,
Right.
and
Yeah.
similar websites and other things. Like you can find the place you
It's
work.
just he's got.
He's
I mean,
just-
he said extra appendages or 3 eyes or
Yeah,
no
those
eyes.
are the other
and-
ones that he saw. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's just from his world. He's normal.
That's a brain man.
That's why I was worried it was going to be a little bit much, but I'm glad y'all.
No,
enjoyed
that was sick. That was
What if-
such a good
What if
story.
everything's the same except the fingers?
it. It
I
could
mean,
be.
that could be.
It's just the 7-finger universe.
He seems pretty normal.
Yeah. Before the story started getting crazy, it reminded me of another thing that I heard, like that I noticed that's a common thing with the stairs is the loss of time.
Yes.
Like you'll go up the
Specifically
stairs.
2
and-
hours.
Yeah.
I saw 2 hours on like.
And then
at
I
least
saw a couple that
15
were I
stories.
saw a couple that were 4.
I saw, yeah. Well, maybe it's a translation of time because it was like I was gone for 15 minutes, but I was actually gone for 2 hours.
Yeah. One of the
There's a-
stories I read, like he got like almost got fired because they were like, "What the fuck?
Yeah,
like
we're
you've been
worried, yeah.
gone." And he's like, "What? I just walked up this random and then the boss got pissed that he went up the random stairs.
There was one that I started reading that had the same element of going up it and
Traveling.
traveling into a different house.
Okay.
Or traveling from the story I read was it was in the woods and they went up it and they were in a house.
It's funny too because he was like concerned about his shoes, like
Yeah.
getting the carpet dirty. Like, man,
Exactly.
you just teleported.
Yeah,
What are you worried about your
exactly.
shoes for?
I love that little thing just because it shows you how close they are to us.
Yeah,
it's
like
like
human-
immediately you're like, oh man,
Oh,
I'm
man, my
messing with the
mom
carpet.
gets mad. Yeah. Dude, that was cool.
Wonder what shoes he wore, like Jordans or Air Maxes.
He was hiking, so I'm gonna imagine he was on the service. So
So, man, you
there
got
is no. I
Dudes
can
hike.
guarantee
Dudes
you.
hike in fucking basketball shoes sometimes.
There is not
You
anybody
telling
on
me
the National Park
Tresman?
Service.
You telling me
That's
Tresman is gonna fucking hike in hiking shoes?
Our coworker Tresman. Yeah, no, he's not. But if you're working at the national park, you are wearing hiking boots.
Yeah. You're so adamant.
Hey, man,
One,
this is
this is
an
a,
alternate dimension.
Damn it. Okay, that's
What
not
if-
fair.
what
I
if they-
can't fight that.
They play basketball in hiking
Oh
boots.
god.
Oh,
Like
God,
Tim's.
some
I mean,
Yeah,
Tim's,
they
they
play
got the
basketball
Tim's.
in Tim's,
we already do
and
that.
then
We already do that.
and then professional like forest searchers are
So-
wearing goddamn Nike 6s.
This is. I feel like we're overdoing it now, giving her too many thank yous. But thank you again to Bitter for the,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
the recommendation, because not only do we get
I don't think we
stories
can
from
overdo
it.
it.
I'm kidding. It's a joke.
Kidding.
There's so many that I read that we didn't tell today.
Yeah.
That I'm gonna think about, and there's one specifically. It's a short little thing of just like kind of what happens. So on video games, when you enter a big area and you're like, there's probably a boss fight.
Yeah.
And like music kind of drops, and then something else swells up.
Uh-huh.
So this dude, I think it was 2 people. One of them had the fight or flight feeling. They're like, something's going on. Like, I don't know what's going on right now. This feels very weird. They find the staircase. The other person that's traveling sees the staircase. The other one's like, we need to go. This guy that sees it, he's like, I'm gonna go step on it.
I'm gonna go step on
I'm
it.
So
gonna go poke it.
he steps on it, and for both of them, again, audio like drops. Like there's no more like forest noise or anything.
Oh,
And
so
it's-
this is real life. This isn't in a video game.
no, but
Oh, okay,
but
okay.
it's like the sense of like we're in a boss fight now.
Yeah, yeah.
So they said that after they entered the arena, basically, they stepped on the staircase. It felt like the environment shifted, and now you were like in this area where you're being hunted. And they said they were able to see things shifting from like a tree, like a thing, like a giant spider-looking thing. Pale.
Oh, what the
Yeah, a
fuck?
giant like humanoid-ish spider shifting from tree to tree, like hunting them. Yeah,
Dude, that
like it was a
kinda-
little trap for them or something. It
That
was
kind
very
of like
weird.
goes into my story because they were like, "Oh, it was a bear attack," and then he
Yeah.
was like, "Well, nobody strings up. It was just the
Yeah.
torso.
Oh,
Nobody
even
strings up
think
their
about that.
kill like in a tree."
Yo, what if in real life when like some shit goes down, you hear like just a Mick Gordon bass drop?
Yeah,
Just-
that'd be awesome.
That would make things a little easier to survive. I'd be like, "Nope, I'm out. Bye. I'm going home."
That'd be very funny.
Nah,
too.
nah.
Just, I don't know where
you
you
can't
did
leave the
something-
level. You got to finish it.
You feel a sense of like accomplishment. You're like, I'm doing really good right now, and then you hear boom, like the Skyrim level up music. Like,
But he went straight to Skyrim music.
yeah. Oh, well, okay.
It's like, why is there a thistle right there? I don't know if I can take that thistle.
That was just all you needed. Yeah.
Oh man, that was dude. These are some great stories. And then also, man, I wanna. Are we gonna do the little series? Like, are you talking about it?
Yeah.
So okay, well then I'm gonna make this a thing. So now we have to do it.
God damn it.
I'm
Yeah.
not positive.
I take
don't
back
know what's going on.
my answer.
I want to, with the story that Bitter sent us. It's so in depth and it's a long ass story. Like it was like 6 parts or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right?
yeah, about that.
And so I kind of want to take that and make a audio drama that we just release on the podcast and actually like
Oh, okay.
go through and have like we'll I guess we'll be the ones acting it out. You know, if we need a female voice, we could probably, get one of the girls to do it or something. But yeah, and like actually have it like tell the story, have one of us kind of reciting the story and reading the story, but then like in that kind of add in the audio of like
Yeah.
people talking and things like that. I think that'd be cool. And
I think it would be cool. It's
like,
an idea.
At first, I was like, "Oh, we'll just make a whole new podcast about that." And then I was like, "No, like, why don't we just do it like?" Because I mean, that could be content to give us a break,
Yeah.
like have like 6 episodes or however many of that,
Right,
and then we
yeah.
can like take a hiatus on like doing an episode. But I think that'd be a cool thing. So keep your ears peeled. We might do that. But all right, so are we gonna draw from
Yeah.
Steven Alexander?
So once again, when we draw from these, it might not be the next episode, but sometime
Oh
soon.
shit!
Yeah, they're
It's full of stuff.
they're a
now.
little fluffy because they're not waxed. We had a
I
bunch.
want to pick.
You want
um,
to pick? All right, so
Jesus Christ. So has anything spooky happened since the last episode? Since
yes.
really? Oh yes, you did tell us about.
Yeah,
this.
y'all didn't even text me back.
Yeah,
I
'cause
was
we didn't
so
wanna-
upset.
What happened?
We got a story to
I
talk
had
about.
another thing happen at work, and this time with a coworker.
Nah, I don't want to know. Save it for the podcast.
So, anyway, one of my coworkers who's also an RA, she ended up staying at the farmhouse. We have like upstairs rooms that we can stay in if we need to. And she was up there. It was like 4 o'clock in the morning. Like she was supposed to be the person to relieve me to do the day.
Yeah.
she ends up texting me at like 4 o'clock, like, come up to the farmhouse. And I'm just like, oh, shit. Okay, like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Like, and so I go up there, and she's standing in her bathroom, and she's like, you hear that shit? Like, you hear that? And I'm standing there, and I'm fucking deaf. Like, and I even said that. I was like, well, I'm
No.
deaf. She's like, oh, fuck. Like,
Literally
you're-
hard of hearing.
Yeah.
Hard of hearing. Jesus.
So we're sitting there, and we got quiet, and we're trying to listen, and you could hear, all of a sudden I could hear it just faintly. It sounded like a woman and a man whispering, like almost like or talking, almost like if someone had like a TV on downstairs, like in another room.
That's fun.
And you know, these, like, the farmhouse of where I work is the original house that was on the property. Like, that house has been there since. We have a picture of the original owner standing in front of it. It's like 1800s or some shit like that. So we're sitting there and we're listening to it, and we're like, what the fuck? And so then we go get the nurse that's on duty and have her come up there, and she's like sitting there listening to it, and we're like, do you hear it? And she fucking sits there, and she's like, yeah, like I fucking hear it. Now, I tried to like justify it, like, okay, it's something else, right? So I did like search around upstairs, and I found like a AC, like it's like an old school AC, and you can hear water going through the pipes and stuff, but it doesn't sound like what we heard. It was very distinctive female voice, male voice. Like, one would talk for a little bit, and then the other one would respond. Like, it was like a conversation.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's the creepy shit that happened with me.
I mean, the biggest thing is that you got called up. Somebody's like, hey, something's going on here.
Yeah, like they were like straight up like, come to the farm. Like, literally, the text message says, come to the farmhouse now.
Yeah.
I was like,
It's wild.
okay.
I haven't had anything.
And it's like 4 o'clock in the morning, and you're like, what the fuck could be the problem? Like, but yeah.
I had one weird thing that I forgot to mention on the last episode. Episode 26, we were leaving, and I was on Creamer Creek. I look, so right before Frisch Off, there's those cattle to the left.
Yeah.
I look and see a cow. It's not one of the Longhorns, but it's a female cow.
Of course, you saw a cow. It's a cow farm.
It's a cow farm. I couldn't see its head.
Oh, that's weird.
And so it looked like just a cow body.
Like, it was like
standing
decapitated, just chilling.
there. Not even decapitated. Like, it was like.
Is that
it
what
was
you gonna say
just
it? Cattle decapitation. Okay. Jesus Christ.
It was just the body, and it was like, that's what it looked like. And then I passed it, and I was
And you were like, oh, it's got a
there's
head.
a head.
It's gotta be. It has to be, yeah.
It's in the shadows.
It could have walked up the stairs and slipped
Yeah,
here.
and then it was just
Yeah.
like, they're all they need is the udder.
And
like,
so that got me thinking, what is fucking terrifying without heads?
I think
Like,
what it,
obviously, like a headless person is pretty terrifying, but like, I don't know. I feel like there's other things out there that
I think
would make you-
subconsciously, like, for us, our brain is our, like, that's what makes the body work. Like, it's
It's
in
the thing
control
of
of everything.
Eyes, mouth, like that. If
Yeah.
you see those, there's something there to be. You know,
and like the
recognized.
face, if you think about it, your face
some
is
sort
what
of
really
consciousness going on there.
your face is what really like shows who you are. Like, when you think of a person, you think of their face. That's like their most defining feature is like their face. So it's
Yeah.
like you're taking away the thing that should make that body move in the first place, and you're taking away what is the best way to identify them.
Yeah.
And so it's just like your brain's like, nuh-uh, like that's not a thing. Like,
But like, it was just so eerie because it was standing perfectly to where there was like a shadow casted
That's
right on its like shoulders, and I couldn't see the
so
head.
it
at all.
was just like, it literally just looked like there was no neck, no nothing there. That's weird. I don't blame you. Well, what did you draw?
Oh,
yeah.
forgot about that. So it's very related to today's story, portals,
Portals. All right.
Gotcha.
which I have plenty of stories that I've like. I could say portals were involved,
Uh-huh.
but that's just like a cop out,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'll probably have something beefy for that.
All right, that sounds interesting. Yeah, I'll try and find something. I know that there's probably a plethora of stuff that just
Oh, yeah,
involves
definitely.
portals. But all right, I guess what's up?
One more thing before we move on. The only reason we had the stories that we did today is because we had a viewer submission.
Yeah.
So,
Thank
once
you.
again, thank
This
you.
is a
Yeah,
great
thank you again,
episode.
Bitter. But also, please message us on anything. Absolutely, like
Yeah.
in the Twitch chat right now, you can give
Yeah.
suggestions. We'll write them down. They go in here,
Yeah.
and we can actually do stories because like we would have never come up with that.
No.
We would have never once thought of doing that.
And it's
uh,
like there's so
there's
much.
so much. Yeah.
So much stuff.
I want to say that I saw Wendigoon's video on
Uh-huh.
it like months ago, and I completely forgot about it. Like,
Okay. See, I'd
and
heard
then-
about it before,
and
but I've
then-
been like, it's
and
never
then
been.
when you
enough.
mentioned that Bitter made that suggestion, I went home and watched that video.
Uh-huh.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
And it's crazy that I don't remember it at all, even though I remember watching the
Yeah. Like
entirety of
clicking
it.
on it. Yeah.
The video I watched was of corpse husband telling like
really?
a story.
Y'all
With
be
his
watching
deep
videos?
voice, I'm corpse. I can't even mimic that
Yeah,
shit.
no, it's not possible.
But all right, let's call it. Let's
Yeah.
call it. That's it for episode 28 of Dead Reflections Podcast. We'd like to shout out our friends in Dark Hour Podcast, Hauntedly Podcast, Magnus Archives, our buddy Bitter Instinct. Go follow her on Twitch. She has the Rainbow Six Community Tournament on September 3rd through the 4th, where there will be Familiar with Failure merch up for grabs for the winning squad.
I probably typoed
Nick's
that.
struggling.
Yeah,
We
Nick's
encourage
struggling.
y'all to give them a listen and check them out.
Oh man. Okay. Follow us at Dead Reflections Podcast on all social medias, or follow the link tree to find all those socials: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Video version of this podcast on YouTube and TikTok now. Email us at deadreflectionspod@gmail.com to submit your stories. Let us know how we're doing. Let Josh know that what he heard was just an AC unit. That one was pretty weak. Do y'all have any other things they should email us about? Come on, I'd have to do this every episode. Oh, God. Okay.
What extracurricular activity should we get Elvira to start?
What's the creepiest thing without a head?
There you go. There you go.
Or, yeah, extracurricular activities. All band-related social medias can be found at FWF.
Elvira needs a new hobby.
Thank you so much for listening to our
All
podcast.
she does is sit on the table.
We just talk about spooky things.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here.
Please don't forget to leave a rating or review anywhere you listen. They really do help us get our name out there to find new listeners. Thank you for all your continued support. Please, for the love of God, follow us on TikTok. We're trying to get to 1,000 followers so that we can do the go live on there. Like, that's a new media outlet that I think can really help us out. But remember, tell your family, tell your friends, and tell the monsters under your bed to listen to Dead Reflections Podcast. Have a spooky night.
Welcome to Dead Reflections Podcast.
Why are you saluting? Okay. My knees shaking.